Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here. Well, we all woke up to the unfortunate news of the massacre that took place in Florida on Valentine's Day, where Nicholas Cruz, a 19-year-old boy, shot and killed 17 people, injuring dozens of others there at the Stoneman Douglas High School in Florida. Now, obviously, they are leaving out massive amounts of information about what is happening or had happened there in Florida, and I want to give you some of those additional details that they're not telling you about. For starters, one of the first things that the mainstream media is failing to leave out is an account, and I want to make sure I get her name right, but Alexis Midnick went on the record with Matt Musil there, stating that she believed that there was a second shooter. Now, I can't play that clip for copyright reasons, but I'm going to quote to you exactly what she said, and I'm going to leave a link below if you want to verify that information for her herself. But in this interview, here's what she said. She details first walking next to Nicholas Cruz and having a straight up conversation with him. Keep in mind, he's got an AR-15, something that looks a little bit like that picture. And where he hid it, if you will, nobody has any clue, but that's an awful big gun to put in your back pocket. But anyhow, here's the conversation that the two had between each other. She says, as I was going, or that she says to the reporter Matt Musil, here's what she details. As I was going down the stairs, I heard a couple of shots fired. Everyone was freaking out. There was a gun, and we were walking the whole class together. I was actually speaking, and she goes in air quotes, to the suspect, she says, and as I was speaking with him, he seemed very ... I don't know what the word is that I want to say, she says, but he is very troubled in middle school, and I joked to him about it and said, I'm surprised you were not the one who did it, talking about the shooting. She was surprised he wasn't the shooter.
You were walking down the hall. He had already fired at that time.
Yes, sir, with him.
Weren't you scared?
In the moment I wasn't, because there was obviously definitely another shooter involved, but...
Oh, you think he was not the only one?
No, definitely not.
Now, other reports detail that Lewis, a friend of Nick Cruz, is there, or I believe a neighbor, a friend of some sort, but he was stating to the authorities, and the authorities were also bringing up, I believe his lawyer dropped it as well, that he was undergoing some kind of treatment, that Cruz was, and that he was very severely depressed and going through a lot of depression. So these are things about his personal life that you're not hearing a lot on the mainstream media, but I can guarantee you he was probably on some kind of psychotropics, if you will, and lots of information is being left out here. Here's some other things that the mainstream media is claiming. They said, and they're trying to already paint him in this light of kind of on the right, if you will, which they want to attack the right. And I have a feeling that they could use this to attack many people who are your Christian conservatives, patriotic, and gun owners. That's what they're going to attempt to do, is take away a lot of our gun rights. And I'm going to prove it to you in just a moment with tweets coming from those on the left, already wanting to take away our guns and have that ultimate control. But as it sits, Nicholas Cruz is being put in that light. They're saying that on his social media, it reports that he bashed blacks and Muslims and wanted to kill anti-fascists. I guess Antifa kind of people. He also went on and left comments on YouTube videos saying that he wanted to kill people with his AR-15. Now, these are reports coming from mainstream media, mind you. And on Instagram, he put a picture of his shotgun, I believe, with something wrapped on his face. But these are the kinds of things that they're painting. They're painting him almost as this right-wing guy. Whether or not that is the case, they are using it to attack the patriotic Christian conservative gun owner side. And I fear very much so that that's the direction that they're going to take with this. And why do I know that? Well, the Democrats have already taken to Twitter and started ramping up. Check out a few of their tweets. The first one here is from Democrat Chuck Schumer, who I can't stand, who took to Twitter and said, another shooting in our schools today at Stoneman Douglas High School in Florida. Yes, our children are resilient, but this is not the burden they should ever have to bear. My heart aches for their children and their family. Hashtag stop gun violence. And Nancy Pelosi, of course, took to it as well. Too many families have lost someone to the senseless epidemic of gun violence. Congress has a moral responsibility to take common sense action to prevent the daily tragedy of gun violence in communities across America. Hashtag enough is enough. Bernie Sanders took to Twitter also. Maybe, just maybe, after 18 school shootings in America in just 43 days of 2018, the Congress might want to consider common sense gun safety legislation and, quote, save innocent lives, even though taking away the guns does not equal saving lives. Dianne Feinstein, another senseless tragedy in America's schools. My heart is with the victims and their family. When we wake up, when we take action to prevent these shootings, when will we take actions to prevent these shootings? Speaking of guns, Kristen Gillibrand also left a comment. Kamala Harris, Richard Blumenthal, and Andrew Cuomo. Now, I'm not going to read every single one of those, but I'll leave links to them so you can check them out. But here's the thing in a nutshell. They never let a crisis go to waste. And it's an unfortunate, horrible event that happened to these kids out there. But we already have questioning information going through. Now, I'm not saying whether or not it's a false flag or not false flag. I don't know. I don't have all the details. But what I do know is people did die. Lots of deaths happened. Lots of horrible events. It's a obviously real thing that happened, and my heart is with every one of the families and parents that have lost someone or have an injured child. I will be praying for you hardcore and very much so, but lots of things are not adding up already. We have him being on a massive amount of depression, whether or not he was taking psychotropics. I'm assuming he likely was. I know he had an adopted mother pass away, but you also have the account of a possible second shooter by Alexis there, who went on record stating that, and it wasn't even allowed to be aired on mainstream media, that particular account from that eyewitness testimony. And here she is having a conversation with the supposed shooter, which I believe he was the shooter, but she has a conversation with him, but yet he's carrying an AR-15, which I guess she didn't see. There's no way she saw it if she's sitting there talking to the guy. So whether or not he set that aside somewhere or what, I guess is to be determined, and find out more information as we go along. But in the meantime, I wanted to get you all the latest details so you know the truth of what really transpired. I'll keep you in the loop as we get more information, but keep in mind the Democrats are going to 100% use this to go after and attack our guns, and they're going to use it hardcore. They're already painting him and putting him purposefully on the right side versus the left side and attempting to stop the gun laws and regulations. So just a heads up. Anyhow, I'd love to get your comments and thoughts on this. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.